Hello, hello, Tammy Cinematic Skeins. I was just filming this for like 5 minutes and not recording. It's a day. Happy New Year. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Tammy. I'm the dyer that hasn't died in forever from Cinematic Skeins. I knit, spin, crochet, craft, sew, whatever my brain feels like doing at the time until it gets distracted by something shiny. I go off on tangents, forget what I'm talking about. I get interrupted by my dogs all the time. There you go. If you've been here for a bit, welcome back. Happy New Year. What's up? Anyway, let's see, what else? I did the drawing for the botanical make-along. The winner was Balls of Twine. I have announced that on Instagram already because I know they follow me there as well, but I just wanted to let the YouTube peoples that don't follow the Instagram know that that's who won. So I will ship out that bed hog bag to them once I have their shipping info. I'm trying to get comfortable. I'm on my day bed, which I rarely sit on anymore because it's in my guest room. Belly. Chubby. As usual, my New Year's resolution is to get rid of this. It's probably not going to happen, but we can't help to try, you know? Help to try. Hurt to try. Y'all know what I was trying to say. Yeah, but here's the thing. Exercise is one of my migraine triggers. And it's a thing. I swear to God, it's a thing. Yeah. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because I said that I would do a video where I answered questions I was asked, and I figured I would do that now. I was going to do it yesterday, but headache. So all the boomies and the fireworks that my neighbor likes to set off from like 5 o'clock through 2 o'clock in the morning did not help at all. I got ill and had to take something to make myself sleep so I could not hear it. Anyway, let me take this off. I am going to show a little bit of things, and then I'm just going to sit here and talk. I'm taking this off because I'm going to handle things and Velcro. Velcro and wool, not friends. My wrist, I think, is just a simple sprain. What had happened was, and did I tell you guys I hurt my wrist? Anyway, what happened was I was getting up off chair, as I do. And ever since my knee surgeries, I use my arms to lift myself because it was usually like painful to put weight on my knees. So I got used to doing that, and I apparently still do it. And I shouldn't because my wrists are very weak. But anyway, I lift myself up by pushing down like this. Leverage. And what happened was I hyperextended and I went back too far, and that's what I did to the wrist. And I heard a pop or felt a pop. I'm not quite sure which, but I don't think I broke it or ripped anything, even though that pop happened. Like I said, I don't know if I heard it or felt it. It was just weird. Anyway, so I can bend this one perpendicular and I can get this one to here. So that's the only time it hurts, is if I try to go past here. So I think it's just a simple sprain. It's fine. And yes, I'm very flexible. I can bend my thumb all the way back. Yeah, I'm that girl. Everybody's like, oh no, you. Yeah, I'm that girl. I can dislocate this finger and twist it. I can do weird things. I have stretchy joints, which is why I have bad knees. Anyway. So yeah, I hurt my wrist. I think I'm only going to have to wear this for like a week because it only hurts when I do this. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, or when I press on something because, you know, that's how I heard it in the first place. But the funny thing is, this one also hurts when I press down to get up off of things. So I probably just have screwed up my wrists with constantly using them to push myself up, which is why I should get in shape. Tangent over. But anyway, let me show you things. Originally, I was going to film this video and I was going to prep fiber and talk, but I don't know if my brain will let me do both at the same time. But I have the fiber here just in case. This is freshly steamed Malabrigo. This is Malabrigo Nubecita, which is basically little bundles of Malabrigo Nube, like the fiber braids that Malabrigo has, the non-superwash ones. The superwash ones are called Cloud. Anyway, when you buy those bundles, they have Nubecita and they have Cloud Tails, but I've only seen Cloud Tails at Paradise Fibers. But anyway, it's off color or test colors, and they're just little bundles. Here's the thing with them though, they blunt cut them, so like straight across, and that's not good for spinning fiber. So what I do, well, I noticed that when I had the Cloud one, and I had trouble spinning it because of the blunt ends. So because I learned that doing the Cloud Tails, what I did is I took this out and I pulled all the blunt bits out to kind of, you know, fray this a bit and make it more easily spinnable. I don't know. And if you've worked with Malabrigo fiber before, you know that it's so compacted that sometimes it gets felted. Like, it's however they do it or however they dye it makes it weird to work with. So I took all the ends off and then I steamed it and, you know, fluffed the fiber up a bit. And now I just need to prep it for spinning. I can't remember how many ounces was in the bag. I'm gonna spin all of this together. These are all the colors that were in the bag. So yeah, I'm not sure how many ounces this is, but I'm gonna do a fractal with them. I just need to prep them. Anyway, like draft and split and all that good stuff. So I was gonna do that while I talked, but again, my brain probably will not let me. Because I talk with my hands and I like to tell the stories and the things, so I can't be doing something with my hands while I'm talking, you know. Anyway, so there's that. And then just to show some knitting, my Cas Cardigan ran into an issue. So I finished the right front and I finished the back, and I was moving on to the left front, and it looks like in the pattern, and I'm pretty sure this is the case, it's backwards. Like the instructions are backwards, because you go back to doing increases, but the way the pattern is written, you'd be doing the increases on the bottom edge, which isn't right, because the bottom edge is straight, horizontal straight. All the increases and decreases are in the shoulders. So I reached out to the designer, I was like, yeah, I think this is backwards. Just want to confirm with you, like, if I should be doing the increase on the wrong side or the right side, because the instructions are backwards for this one line. They never got back to me. Granted, I know it's the holidays and all, and they're probably busy and doing the things and they're in another country, but whatever. I am impatient. So I went ahead and did what I thought was right, and it looks right because it matches the left side. Whatever side I started off with, it matches that side the way that I did it. So I think I was right. Anyway, so I am almost done with the body. Last time you guys saw it, I was there. Right? Look at that. Look at all of that done. Look at that. So now I'm doing my decreases. This is heavy. And like, it should be a lap blanket. This is so pretty. I love it. Look at that. It's almost finished. Like, you can tell it's almost finished because the colors are almost the exact same on each side. Look, don't you love it? Don't you love it? I love it. Anyway, I have 3 more stripes. Yeah, I have 3 more stripes to finish out the body. And then I'm going to connect the shoulders and start on the arms. So yeah, that is what I will probably be working on today. I also, while I was waiting for the designer to get back to me, decided to go ahead and work on the button band, which you knit separately and then attach, like sew it on. I was playing yarn chicken. All right, so with the body, I'm working with fingering weight held double, because the pattern calls for a light DK worsted. But I had some leftover DK in the Nevermore colorway from West 7th Wool, which is what I'm using for the body, or the, main color. Anyway, I ran out. I thought I had enough. I used like 43 grams of yarn. It looks like it's enough though. I don't know, but when I lined it up on the thing, it's not enough. It's off by like that much, literally that much. That's all I need. I could finish it out by doing fingering weight held double, but it'll look different and I don't want it to do that. So I'm gonna buy another skein of DK Nevermore to finish my button band. This much. But it's fine because I tend to use Nevermore when I do cowls, like a DK cowl, and I love this gray. So it's fine. Buying a whole skein of yarn to do this much. Because I know I'll use it. So it's okay. It's okay. Jesus. Stuck on my hair. Anyway, so that's that. I'm hoping that this is enough to do the sleeves. Because now I'm like, should I pick up another skein of fingering weight? Or should I get 2 skeins of DK and then I can finish out the button band and then do the sleeves in DK instead of fingering weight held double? I don't know. What I ought to do is do one sleeve or weigh this and then do one sleeve and then see if I have enough left before I go buy more yarn. But I just kind of want to buy all the yarn at once. I don't know. Maybe I should pick up a skein of fingering weight just in case to be on the safe side. So a skein of DK and a skein of fingering weight. I don't know. We'll see how much I have left after the body's done and just whatever. I don't know. It's fine. Anyway, that's what I'm working on. I'm also working on the hat I told you guys about that I haven't picked up. It's just a 2x2 rib black hat. It's fine. That's what I'm working on when my wrist isn't sore. Like knitting does hurt this. But I can tolerate it for the most part. So it's fine. Anyway, that's that. So that's all the knitting and whatnot I have to show you. If you don't care about the chit chatty stuff, you may go about your day. I'm gonna try. It's probably gonna be long and I might have to upload it in sections because my hard drive. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna try I know I'm gonna ramble. I'm not even gonna try not to ramble because I know I'm going to. So let's do the questions. All right. And I brought it in here to look at so I don't ramble too much. First question was about my migraines. My migraine journey, when did they start? My migraine started when I was when did we have bunk beds? 5 or 6. And I actually remember this. I screamed. So my head hurt and it got really, really bad. Like it was one of my bad headaches. So I just kept screaming and my mom was freaking out because she didn't know why I was screaming. She just knew I hurt. So, yeah, when I was finally able to like communicate to her that it was my head that hurt, she ended up taking me to the doctor, and unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to see it, it turned out I had, what's it called? Scarlet fever. But it wasn't like super bad. Anyway, like they told my mom I had a touch of scarlet fever, and that was probably why my head hurt. I don't remember what the treatment was. I just know I got better. I was little. I don't remember. Anyway, but that's what my mom said. This is the story my mom told me. So I just remember the screaming bit. But from what my mom told me, like she took me to the doctor and I had scarlet fever. But you know, throughout my childhood, I would randomly get headaches, and my mom also suffered from migraines. So her way of coping with them, well, she had medicines, I think. Did she? Yes. But she took, what's that stuff called? She was like me in that she learned to tolerate her headaches, but she would take, what's that stuff called? BC powder for her headaches. Ugh, no. So yeah, and her way of dealing with her headaches was to sit in a dark room, put on some soft music, and just do nothing. So that's how I learned to cope with my headaches. And I had like kids Tylenol, and I just coped with mine. They weren't very bad when I was little. It wasn't until like around 12 when the hormones kicked in and I became a woman that they got really bad. So I know hormonal issues are probably one of my triggers. And when they got really bad with that, I was told that it was because of girly stuff. That's why I had headaches. And then when I was like, but I get them when I don't, I was told it was because I needed reading glasses. So I got reading glasses. And then I still had headaches. And then I was told it was because of an eye injury. Oh, the eye injury. You guys want to hear a funny story? It's a fun story. All right. So when I was in middle school, this kid, Alvin, I remember his last name too, and I'm not going to call him out like that because maybe he's a nicer person now. But anyway, Alvin made fun of me all the time. And it got to a point where he would just kind of like, if he like saw me in the hallway, he would just kind of brush by me like this and like, you know, nudge me. So I kind of lose my balance, you know, boy stuff. And I say it like that because when I complained to a teacher that this boy would not leave me alone, I was told it was because he liked me. Stop telling girls that crap. Boys should not be giving girls a hard time or pulling their hair or touching them inappropriately. Any kind of touch is inappropriate if it's not welcomed. Stop telling girls that it's because he likes you. No, it's not. It's because he's an asshole bully. That's why. Anyway, teacher didn't do anything because they were just like, oh, he likes you. It's okay. It's boys. No. I told my mom because it finally got to a point where I was like, this kid, you know, he would not leave me alone. So I told my mom about it. My mom's like, a boy's putting his hands on you? Oh no. She said, next time he puts his hands on you, pick up the next heaviest object, because he's a big guy. Pick up the heaviest thing next to you and clock him with it. So I was like, Ma, I'll get in trouble. I'll get kicked out of school. She's like, I don't care. Boy, putting his hands on you is not okay. Hit him. So I called my grandma, because, you know, grandma. I was like, Grandma, Ma wants me to hit this boy, and I don't know what to do. And she's like, oh, no. Wait, you're a young lady. Kick him in the balls. I was like, Grandma. She's like, no. Kick him in the balls. He'll go down. It's fine. She's like, that stops him. Like, he's a boy. Just kick him in the balls. He'll go down. Like, all right, Grandma. She's like, you promised me he puts his hands on you, you kick him in the balls. I was like, okay, Grandma, I promise. Not thinking this is what's going to happen, right? So I went to school one day. I know what I was wearing because that's why he started giving me a hard time, because I was a little different. So I was in my hippie phase. So I was wearing a flowy shirt and some bell bottoms and my mom's combat boots, which I like to steal. My mom was in the military and I kept stealing her combat boots to wear to school. She finally got me a pair of my own because she got in trouble because she didn't have her combat boots one day. So yeah, I was wearing combat boots and he kept making fun of me. We were in band class together and he kept making fun of me and I was like, you know, whatever. And he gave me you guys remember Trick gum? He gave me gum that tasted like garlic. And why would I take gum from a bully? Well, because he was like, hey, you know, I'm sorry I've been bothering you so much. Let's be friends. You want some gum? And he was like handing gum out to his friends. I didn't notice that none of his friends were eating the gum. I was just like, sure, okay, we're going to be cool. Because, you know, I was a loner, middle schooler. People made fun of me all the time. It's fine. I was like, oh, friends, yay. It was Trick gum, tasted like garlic or onion or whatever. And I went to the bathroom, spit it out, washed my mouth out, whatever. Told me he was an asshole. Probably shouldn't have told him he was an asshole, because when we got out of class, I was putting my clarinet away on the shelf because we had shelves in the hallway for all of our stuff because we couldn't take all of our stuff into band class. And I was putting my clarinet away and he shoved me into the shelf. So following my mom's advice, I had my clarinet case right in front of me. So I closed it and just went swack and hit him. And he's like, oh, you want to fight? And I was like, shit. So then I was like, grandma's advice. So I hauled my leg back and kicked him as hard as I possibly could in the balls with my combat boots. Did he go down? No, he did not go down. His face contorted with rage and he punched me in the face. And my head hit the wall and I went down. And when I woke up, because yeah, I went down. When I woke up, my vision went like this. Could not see, like, it wasn't doubled. It was literally like there was a line right here and my vision just went like that. So I had to go to the eye doctor and I had to wear an eye patch and I had drops I had to put in my eye. And I was upset. One, I got hit. People made fun of me for the rest of the school year because this boy knocked me out. But, and you know, it was obvious I was injured because I had to wear an eye patch. So his mom tried to get my mom to pay his doctor bills because I was upset because I thought I didn't hurt him and I was mad at my grandma because I was like, grandma, it didn't work. It worked. He just didn't go down. His mom tried to get my mom to pay his doctor bills because I apparently made things black and blue down there and he was in pain and he was out of school for a little bit. My mom said, your son hit a woman. I ain't paying for shit. So yeah, nobody paid for anybody's medical bills. I got suspended for fighting, even though I got knocked out. I was out of school for like a week. Anyway, yeah. So then the doctors thought my headaches were because my eye got injured because I don't know what he did to me when he messed up my vision. I had perfect vision and then I had like 20/30 or something after the fight. So yeah, then they thought, you know, it's definitely your headaches. You know, you needed reading glasses. Now you have this eye injury and then you got feminine woes. That's why your head hurts all the time. So moving forward through adulthood, every time I go to the doctor, they give you that questionnaire, like, do you have frequent headaches? Does this happen? Blah, blah, blah. And I always mark yes. Nobody ever asked me about it. And I got used to just being told it's my eyes and hormones. So I was just like, okay, this is just something I live with. And then when I moved to Texas, out here where I live now, I had to switch doctors because my doctor went to the doctor I really liked that finally listened to me about like my other medical issues. I really liked that doctor, but she went to a concierge practice where it's basically your doctor's no longer part of like the regular insurance practice and you pay like, what did she want? Or her practice want? It was like $2,000 a year just to go there. And then on top of that is your medical bills. So it's like a $2,000 a year membership to your doctor's office, basically. And no, like I get the reason they're doing it, like a lot of doctors are doing it apparently, is so they can have the freedom to give more care. Cause like with Baylor, which is who most of the Texas medical people are through, like the doctors are under strict rules. Like they have to spend a certain amount of time in the room and patients have like, the doctors get dinged if the patient doesn't sign up for the patient portal, like all these rules. So doctors move to concierge practice so they don't have to follow those rules and they can like be more, you know, like old timey doctors, like let's sit and have a conversation. I'm not going to rush out of the room. Like, let's talk. If I had that kind of money, I would love to pay for that kind of care, but I don't. So I had to switch doctors. So yeah, see, rambling stories. This is why this is probably going to be long. Anyway, so the doctor I switched to out here was like, I see you marked down you have frequent headaches. How often do you have headaches? I have headaches most of the month, like 15, 20 headaches a month. Like I have a headache almost every single day. This is what I'm used to. Sometimes they're really bad. And for me, it was hard for me to classify them as migraines because I have a high pain tolerance. And so I consider migraines the ones that have extra symptoms. Like sometimes I'll go blind in one eye. Sometimes, like if you have glasses and you put like put a gray circle sticker on part of the glasses, sometimes I'll get that. I'll just have one spot in my vision that I can't see anything out of. And it's always in this eye. And sometimes I get really nauseated. My really, really bad ones, I legit can't function. I can't sleep. I can't do anything but like hold my head and cry. I don't get those ones that often. But yeah, I get headaches pretty much every day. They're usually behind my eyes. If I had to explain what a headache, like one of my bad headaches feels like, it feels like somebody is trying to push my brain matter out through my eyes. That's what it feels like, because my headaches are always behind my eye. Always, like my bad ones. They start usually in this temple or this temple. The bad ones always start in this temple, and it moves behind this eye. Sometimes it's behind both. Like the real bad ones are behind like my entire head, really. But they're always behind my eyes. But it's usually this one that they're bad. And it's like the pain pulses with my pulse. So sometimes if I sit really still, it feels like my headache has gone away, but the minute I move, it's like my brain starts exploding again. So, and the same thing happens when I exercise, which is why I don't exercise much, because it makes my head hurt. Let's see what else. Yeah, I rarely, only on my really bad ones does light bother me. Usually it's sunlight and not indoor light that bothers me. If it's super bright and sunny outside and I'm on a road trip, I have to take frequent breaks because I'll get a headache from all the sunlight. I get headaches from strong scents, like super strong scents. Usually it's like a perfumey powder combination. Yeah, a perfumey, really strong floral perfumes give me a headache. Thunderstorms, changes in air pressure. Not eating. Oh yeah, I had one doctor that was thinking it was because I wasn't eating properly, because I don't get hungry like a normal person. I don't get hungry until about 3:00 in the afternoon most of the time. And then I eat dinner really late. I grew up eating dinner really late because my mom didn't get home until like 5:30. I was a latchkey kid. Mom didn't home till around 5:30 or 6. And then we would like, chit chat, she'd take a nap, do her thing, and then we ate dinner around 8 or 9. The only time I ate dinner earlier than that was when I spent the night at my grandma's house, because grandma always had dinner at like 4:00 in the evening. She's old school, or she was old school. Anyway, so yeah, I've had headaches my whole life. This past year was the first time I've actually been to a doctor that cared about it, and so my migraine treatments, the first thing, like she gave me Imitrex to start off with, the regular doctor. And she's like, I'm going to give you Imitrex for now, but I'm going to send you to a neurologist because your headaches are so frequent, And when I got to the neurologist, she took me off Imitrex because I keep a headache diary. And she's like, this is not working for you. And switched me to, I think it's called Maxalt. It's rizatriptan. I think the generic is rizatriptan, and I think the brand name is Maxalt or something. I think. But her first recommendation, which I think most neurologists automatically are like, migraines, Botox. And I was like, no. One, because Botox is a lot of shots, and it's not that I have a problem with needles. It's just, I have a thing about Botox. Like, cause growing up in the 80s, you heard horror stories about the Botox, like people getting it and then like their face is freezing. And then for me, it's like, Botox is botulism toxin. And that freaks me out. Like, it's a toxin. I'm not injecting a toxin into my body. Like, I know they do stuff to it and whatnot, but it freaks me out. So I was like, I really don't want to do Botox. Granted, not like I know what's in the shots. I have to do my shot today. Theo, remind me to do my shot today. I'll remember because I have to give them their heartworm medicine. So I always take my stuff out. And okay. Anyway, so Botox was the first option, and I was like, no. And she's like, okay, we have other options. You can do a pill. And I was like, okay. She's like, all right, so there's a pill that you take every day, and there's a pill you take every other day. And I was like, I'll forget the every other day thing. Give me something I just take every day. Because then I'll know, like, all right, when I go to bed, I'll take this pill. Like, you know? And the other options were shots. And I was like, I don't want to give myself shots. Like, I don't mind, like I said, I don't mind shots. But my whole thing is, with a shot, you are creating more opportunities for bad things. Because you can give yourself a skin infection. You can, you know, put a shot in a weird place. Like, why do that to yourself? I have to sneeze. I'm sorry. Okay. Ooh, all right. So, like, you know, with a pill, you're just taking a pill. It's fine. But with a shot, I feel like you have more opportunities to have medical issues. So I didn't want to start off with that. So I started off with Qulipta, which was a daily pill. And I'm on trazodone to help me stay asleep because I have trouble sleeping, which is why I go shopping at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning on Etsy. It's not that I can't fall asleep. I can fall asleep fine. I can't seem to stay asleep. And the sad thing is that's been a problem since 2006. So back in the day, I could sleep through a train wreck. Like, I would wake up, have entire conversations, and be completely asleep. Like, I slept hard, you know? But when my mom got sick, I had a real hard, like, any little thing, I was like, hey, Ma, what do you need? What do you need? Any little noise. Like, what do you need? Like, and it stuck. And it's been, like, my mom passed away in 2008. And I still, every little noise, I'm like, hey, what's that? What's going on? Somebody need me. Like, now it's the dogs. Like, any little noise, you know, like worst alarm clock, your dog getting sick, instant wake up. Like, so yeah, I have a hard time staying asleep ever since my mom passed away, or ever since my mom got sick. So I'm on trazodone to help keep me asleep. The doctor said the Imitrex I was taking probably led to my weight gain, because I gained a crap ton of weight, like, really, really fast. Like, I was already slightly chubby. Like, I weighed, like, 230. So, a little chubby for me, 230. That's the most I had ever weighed. While on the Imitrex, my weight shot up to 270. So, yeah, and that was only, like, in the span of a couple months, because I've only been on it this year. And so my weight shot up. Which is why I'm so upset that none of my clothes fit right now. And I don't want to buy new clothes. So that's one of the reasons they took me off the Imitrex as well. Like, one, it wasn't really helping my headaches. And two, I gained a crap ton of weight. She also said the trazodone might have contributed to that too. So the good thing about the Qulipta was its side effects are that it makes you tired and it makes you lose your appetite. And I keep telling, and I told my nutritionist this too, my weight has nothing to do with the food intake. I don't eat a lot. Like, I like food. I like, you know, good food. But I don't eat a ton. So it's not like I'm hungry all the time and constantly stuffing my face. It's that I eat very little and I don't have a lot of physical activity. So my body's like holding on to whatever I eat. Like, this is all I'm gonna get. We're keep it. And like, you know, with all the knee surgeries and stuff, I haven't been able to do things that I used to do. Like, before my knee surgeries, I did roller derby. I went for like walks and stuff all the time. Like, I was actively walking around doing all the things. And, you know, since my knee surgeries, I hardly do anything but, you know, sit on the couch all day. Would you get out of my fiber? Okay, dude. Sorry, hold on. Anyway. So yeah, that's my headaches. That's my treatments right now. So yeah, the Max Salt I take when I have a headache. I have a cocktail. That's what the doctor calls it. So if my headache has nausea included with it, then I take Phenergan for the nausea. And for the headache, I take prescription ibuprofen, which is like 800 milligrams. So I take that, and I take the Max Salt. And if my headache isn't gone in 2 hours, I take another Max Salt. And if that doesn't work, then I'm just stuck with that headache because I can't take anything else. The Qulipta that I was taking daily was a preventative, but my insurance company doesn't want to cover Qulipta, so now I take the Emgality shot, and that I take monthly. The reason it didn't work that first month is because I was supposed to take 2 shots and not 1, but that was a miscommunication. So basically, because I was on Qulipta already and I still had some left, the nurse told me to not take 2 shots, to only take 1 because I had the Qulipta in my system. The doctor, when I told her that when I told her that the Emgality doesn't work, she's like, did you take 2 shots? And I was like, no, I took 1. She's like, you're supposed to take 2. So it was a miscommunication between me and the nurse and the doctor. It is working now. I will say that the Qulipta pill works better than the Emgality shot because with the Qulipta, my headaches pretty much went from like 20 headaches to like 3 or 4 in a month. Whereas with the Emgality, I'm still getting the headaches. Even though it's working now, I'm still getting the headache. Like I have one right now, but they're tolerable. So yeah, the doctor wants me to stay on it for a bit. I don't see her for another year. So I'm on Emgality for now. The Qulipta is not covered by my insurance. So stuck with that because America. Anyway, let's see what else. Okay, that was the headache question. Let's see if there's more. There's more. There were more questions. Hold on. Okay. Moving horror stories. The only bad move I've had has been this one. Moving to Texas. And it's not that the move itself was bad. It's just all the crap surrounding it was bad, and why I moved here. Because that was one of the questions too. Why did I move here? The dogs. The other question was to ask me about my dogs. I can't do that right now. I'm emotional. I can't do it because talking about Bailey makes me cry, and I don't want to do that today. So we'll save that for another. I'll talk about all my dogs, and like dogs are part of my moving horror story. So yeah, but I'll go more into the dogs on another chit chatty episode. And I'll show pictures because I have pictures of all my dogs. Well, most of them. But anyway, why did I move to Texas from Virginia? Cause real talk, I had a best friend. We've been friends for 14 years. We had a falling out that was a bunch of BS. I was accused of talking crap on Facebook, which isn't something that I do. But I found out that somebody had hacked my account, and what I believe happened was one of her friends hacked my account and posted stuff and then like screenshotted it and then deleted it. So I couldn't see it. Because we found that when my IT friend and I looked into it, somebody was logged into my account in her hometown and not where I was. So we think that's because she swore that she had screenshots of stuff that I said about her on Facebook, and I never did that. Because I was if I was going to talk shit about somebody, I wouldn't be friends with their family and friends on Facebook because we had mutual friends and I was friends with her family. So for her to think that I did that was just stupid. And I could have fought for the friendship to like defend myself, but I'm one of those people, if you just do me wrong, I cut you out because I can't deal. So my philosophy, my stance on it was, we've been friends for 14 years, and if you don't believe me or want to give me the opportunity to see what you're talking about, she didn't even show me, to see what you're talking about or defend myself in any kind of way, then you don't really care about my friendship. And what led up to that and me not wanting to fight for it is she had recently moved in with me because she lived up in DC and she moved down to Richmond to live with me. And in the time that she spent living with me, she wasn't treating me great. Like, I felt like I was being taken for granted and taken advantage of. And I did voice that to her. Like, that's my other thing. When I have issues, I may not voice it, but I wrote her a letter with all the issues that I was feeling and how I was feeling about things, because it's easier for me to express how I feel about stuff writing it down. And I gave that to her so she knew exactly how I felt, like negative wise, in regards to our friendship. So I wouldn't talk shit about on Facebook, but I'll write you a letter and be like, this is how I feel right now. You suck. Like, so yeah, for her to think that I would do that and not come to her directly to her face, like, you obviously don't know me very well. Like, 14 years, you should. But anyway, so that falling out. And the problem with that was, in addition to it being a bunch of BS, was she was my only close friend, because I don't have a lot of close friends. I have a hard time connecting with people. So our friendship falling apart the way that it did, and me not understanding what happened, really hurt me. And I felt like I couldn't, and I still kind of am this way, but she kind of ruined me for being friends after that whole thing happened, because I have a hard time connecting to people even more now, because I don't trust people now. Because I'm like she was my beneficiary, like, you know, like, she was my closest friend. And to have that go down the way that it did made me wary of people. Not that I wasn't already, but it just made it worse. So then I was like, you know, my mom passed away, like my grandma passed away, my best friend and I don't have a best friend anymore. And like all of my other friends, no offense to any of my other friends, but they're more acquaintance kind of friends. They're not like people I can like talk to. So I felt like I didn't have anybody. And I was like, you know, okay, I'm done. I need to get out of this city. Because like, one, the city itself reminded me of my mom, because I grew up there. So everything reminded me of my mom. And I was like, I don't have any like close friends here. I can't trust anybody. I just want to like start fresh, clean slate, new. So in an effort to make that happen, I was like, I'm going to apply, like, and I was also not very happy at work. So I was like, I'm just going to apply for new jobs. And I was kind of broke. There's a whole thing to it. So like, I lived in a place I could afford before she moved in with me, and she didn't like where I could afford, because it wasn't a great neighborhood, to be honest. It was kind of ghetto, but it was clean and not that bad for me. But we moved to a nicer area and an apartment I could not afford, which I didn't want to do, but she gave me a hard time, so I did it anyway. I should have listened to my instincts, but we moved to a place I couldn't afford. And I was struggling real hard to pay rent after she moved out. Even though the landlord let me move to a smaller and cheaper apartment, it was still outside of my budget. So I was having a really hard time. I was having a hard time. My car wasn't working. Like, I had given her, when my mom passed away, my car at the time was in both of our names, and probate took my car to help pay medical debts that my mom left when she passed. So I inherited my mom's car, but my mom's passing away depressed me so much I couldn't handle driving my mom's car. So I had given it to my best friend because I couldn't handle being in it. And she basically ran it into the ground. She gave it back to me so I'd have a car to drive, and it was undrivable. She drove it into the ground. And before I gave it to her, I paid to have it all super fixed up and cleaned and made sure all the parts. And the Honda guy was like, this will last you like 10 more years, this car. And I was like, excellent. And she killed it. So it was undrivable and I had no car. So anyway, all that happened. And I decided to apply for jobs nationally instead of just locally. I'm like, I want to leave. I want a fresh start. I want to do something. And one of the managers from Texas that had worked at my company had called my coworker to see if they'd be willing to move to Texas to come work for his mortgage company that he was working at, because they needed people. And she was like, no, but I heard Tammy is looking to get out of Virginia. So he's like, oh, let me talk to her. So I talked to him and I was like, what would I be doing at your company? He's like, you'd be doing the same thing. And I was like, nah. He's like, it pays double what you're making in Virginia. And I was like, double? double? You say double? He's like, yeah, double. And he's like, and there's like a moving bonus. They'll pay for you to move. And I was like, where do I sign? Like, all right, let's go. And I moved here. The problem, here's the horror story part. The problem with my move. I didn't have any money. So, and I couldn't get out of my lease. Then I had my dogs and all the things. But I jumped on it and was like, I need to get out. Cause that's where once I fixate on something, I'm stuck on it. So I did a GoFundMe, and friends and acquaintances in Virginia donated gas money so I could leave. So and a friend of mine, my friend Brian, stayed in my apartment to take care of my dogs. Cause I was like, I don't know where I'm going to live. I've got to go to Texas and figure all that stuff out. Like, I just need to get there cause my job starts in like 2 weeks. I got to go. And then like, if you could just take care of my dogs, like give me like a month and I'll figure something out and then I'll come back for them. So he did. He moved into my apartment and took care of my dogs for me. And I drove to Texas. It took me 3 days. I moved into a hotel and I stayed there for a couple weeks while I apartment hunted. And on my first paycheck, I asked for my dogs. I found an apartment, my first paycheck, and I had no furniture. It was just me and an air mattress in this apartment. And I reached out to Brian and was like, okay, I need to figure something out. Can you start cause I had started packing up my apartment, and I was like, can you find some people and help pack up my apartment? And I can't afford to come back. Can you guys just pack up my apartment, and then I'll see if I can get like a shipping thing dropped off, and you guys just load it up and I'll get my stuff shipped to me. And so like a group of my friends in Virginia all got together and did, I guess, a clean out party of my apartment to move out all my stuff. And the horror story part of that is I wasn't clear that I wanted all of my stuff. Like I reached out to my friend. I was like, you don't need to ship everything. I'm going to buy new furniture here because it would be too expensive to get like the big container to ship all the furniture. So I was like, I only need a couple of the things of the furniture, and the rest of it you guys can just give away. I wasn't clear. There was a misunderstanding. They gave away all of my furniture, including an heirloom bed that was in my family for years that my mom I helped my mom refinish. It was beautiful. It's like tiger maple and some other stuff. The bed was gorgeous. Anyway, they gave away my bed, which was something I wanted. And they gave away my bookcase that my mom got me. It was like a hardwood, super heavy bookcase with like glass French doors on it. It was so pretty. So yeah, they gave that away. They gave away all of my furniture, my sectional, all the things. So I had no furniture for reals. And then the people that packed up my apartment, I'm not laying any blame because there were so many people helping, which is why I'm like, they were helping. They helped themselves to some of my stuff. My stained glass lamp that my mom gave me for my birthday, some Asian dishes, some clothes, my roller derby gear. Do you guys remember the show Roller Girls? It was on A&E, and it was like the Texas Roller Girls. I had all intents and purposes of joining the Texas Roller Girls when I moved here. They took my roller derby gear. I didn't notice. Here's the other thing. I didn't notice that all these items were missing because once I got my shipping stuff, I just let it sit for a bit because I was like, I'll unpack it later. I don't really, my stuff's in there. I unpacked my clothes because I needed them. But other than that, I was just like, I'll unpack all the house stuff after I buy furniture and whatnot. I didn't realize all this stuff was missing until later. And then I could tell that someone helped themselves because some of the boxes I had pre-packed, like the stained glass lamp of my mom's that I didn't want to get damaged, I packed that myself. But when I opened the box that said lamp, there were other items in it instead. So somebody actually went through my boxes and took my stuff. Now, was it the people that I call my friends, or was it some random person that had access to my apartment because I wasn't there? Because, the landlord had keys. I don't know. And they were kind of sketchy. I don't know. Anyway, some of my stuff disappeared. Then I paid, how much did she charge me? It was $1,000, $2,000. I don't remember. It was really expensive. I paid for someone to drive my dogs here because it was too expensive to fly them. So they drove my dogs to me. I had my giant schnauzer Bailey, which I'm not going to talk about because it'll make me upset, and my German Shepherd Misha. I had just adopted Misha before I got the job and moved here, so she didn't know me very well. In fact, when she got here, she didn't recognize me for a little bit. It took her like a couple hours to be like, wait a minute, your smell is familiar. Like, and you know, when I adopted Misha, she'd been abused, so she was a little skittish. But anyway, so Bailey and Misha came, and Bailey got sick. I had to put him down. And I still question that, whether or not I had to put him down, because now I kind of don't trust that vet. And then I changed jobs, so I made more money, and I could have afforded to do exploratory surgeries and things if I had waited just another month, if I had waited. But then, you know, I worry that like he was in pain, so would I want him to suffer another month? And I keep having to convince myself that I made the right decision about Bailey. But anyway, Bailey happened. Not doing it. I'm already getting upset. And then shortly after that, Misha got really sick. And I couldn't afford to take care of her. Fortunately with Misha, we found out like it got really bad. Like she had blood coming out of both ends. It was really gross, and she was so sickly. And I took her to the ER to figure out what was going on, because I thought maybe she ate something. I didn't know what's going on. She was so sick. And it turned out she had some sort of enzyme disorder that was keeping her from processing food properly. So it was just triggering something in her body. Like her body was rejecting the things, and that's where all the blood was coming. It's really gross. Anyway, the treatment that she would need, not that well off. I couldn't do it. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And the doctor's like, well, the other option would be to put her down, because, you know, if you can't afford the treatments, and we can't do anything. Like, they could. Anyway, as someone who has worked at a vet hospital, like, I get it. I had to stop working at the vet ER, because a lot of people end up putting their pets down because they can't afford the treatments. And that bothered me so much. I couldn't work there anymore. I lasted, I think, 3 weeks working in the emergency center at the vet hospital, because after like seeing that, it upset me so much, because I'm like, you guys, you have the ability to help, and you know, like, because you know, when you work at a vet, sometimes you get things at cost, like I think I've told you guys about. You get things at cost, so I knew that what we were charging these clients wasn't what we were actually paying. Like there was a huge overhead there, and I was like, this isn't right. Like we're putting animals to sleep because people can't afford treatments that aren't as expensive as we're telling them they are. Like I know people got to make their money, but anyway. So the whole Misha thing really bothered me, and I was like, I don't want to put my dog down because I can't afford care. What can we do? At the time, I couldn't get care credit because some other things that I'm not going into. But what ended up happening with Misha ended up being a good thing in the long run, because the vet tech that took care of her while she was super sick fell in love with her and was like, I was in the lobby like freaking out, like I don't know what to do about my dog, because she'd been there for a couple days. And the vet tech was like, she's like, can I talk to you? And I was like, yeah, talk to me. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, she's like, would you be interested in letting me adopt her? Like, she will live with me and my husband, blah, blah, blah. And I will take care of her. I will take care of her treatments. And, you know, as a vet tech, she gets that shit at cost. So she can take care of her. And I was like, can I visit? And I did visit for a little bit, and then it upset me too much. And it was confusing Misha to see me and this new owner. Like, she wasn't bonding properly with them because she was like waiting for me, you know? So I stopped visiting so they could properly bond with her. So yeah, so that's my moving horror story. It's like not the missing of the items and the stuff. Like I talk about that because I am a little bitter about it, but because I would like to have the things that connected me with my mom. But the main horror story for me moving to Texas was the loss of both of my dogs. Even though it happened after I'd been here for a little bit, I connected that with moving here. And I still think it was something in the water that made Bailey sick. But I don't know, because he was perfectly healthy in Virginia. And suddenly in Texas, he's got all these growths and things happening to his body. And I'm like, we didn't have that issue. Like, I know giant schnauzers are prone to cancer. I know this. I knew that when I adopted him. I had it as a rider on his insurance. But like, he was healthy in Virginia. And I don't know if moving here made him bad. I don't know. See, I'm getting upset. I can't talk about pets right now. Moving on. So yeah, I moved to Texas because they paid double what I made in Virginia, and I could actually have a livable wage for a change. That's why I moved here. And because like I was social issues, losing my best friend and all. So I was upset and just decided to leave. That's why I'm here. Yeah, see, the other question is about my dogs. I can't go into that because every time I talk about Bailey, I get upset. What I might just do is just run, I'll talk about each of my dogs and what made them special, and I'll just post pictures. Maybe that's what I'll do instead of talking about Bailey, because even if I'm telling a nice story about him, it upsets me. So, see? Soulmate. And probably why I judge these guys so harshly, because I had the perfect dog. And even though he had this thing, whenever he would get nauseous, he would eat things. So whenever Bailey would get because he had a thing, whenever he would get nauseated, he ate carpet strips, he ate blinds, like anything he could shove down, he would eat. It's like, what's it called? Pica, whatever it is. He would get that when he was nauseated, and he would just eat stuff so he could, yeah. Anyway, that was his only thing. That was the only issue I ever had with Bailey, is his weird thing. Whenever his stomach was upset, he would eat random stuff. But yeah, other than that, he was the perfect dog. Like, he trained well. This one went to puppy school. He went to a training boarding camp, and he's still a jerk. Benny, I can't be blamed for. I could. I have not trained Benny at all. I adopted him during the pandemic and was just like, I want to take you to school, but I can't. So, and I don't feel like training you. As long as you sit when I tell you to, I'm good. And he does. So Benny knows sit and come. That's it. Benny knows sit and come. And whoever had him before me taught him, which I don't think was much because he lived on a farm. But yeah, Theo has been to puppy camp, puppy boarding training facilities. We went to puppy classes together. Like, Theo just is stubborn and sucks, and I don't care enough to put in the effort to make him a perfectly trained dog, because he's literally in the house with me all the time, and it mostly doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, so when I talk about my dogs, whenever I feel like doing another chitty chatty thing, I'll just talk about their names and personalities, and I'll post pictures. But out of all the dogs I've ever had, Bailey was number 1, Bodhisattva was number 2, and Samson. Like, these dogs are not high on the list. I love them though. I do. They're just a pain in the ass. Anyway, that's the chit chat for today. I'm gonna go take something from my head and work on this fiber. Anyway, I hope that wasn't super boring for you guys. I mean, the punch to the face was kind of funny, right? It's funny now. It wasn't funny at the time. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. Happy New Year again. Let's see what 2024 brings. Bye.